So I joined this really awesome team and I told my sales manager that I'm going to push out a video. I can't face her until I do. I didn't want it to be like every other freaking realtor that you basically see on TikTok. Because, once you see one, you just start seeing all sorts of them. I want it to be like a preview. If you were to start viewing homes with me, how would it be like? What kind of advice would you get? Right. And I want to also demystify a lot of the things that are in real estate. Segment is going to be, I asked ChatGPT, by the way, what are the 3 questions that people are scared to ask their realtor because they don't want to get sold to, which is what from ChatGPT, it's basically taking your guys' place is, how do I know if my realtor isn't pushing me to buy just to close a deal? And you know what? Recently, a family friend was buying a house through a real estate agent that I know of. I think he's a nice guy, but I don't know how he does business. But what I found was that in a market where the buyers have more power, the buyers are more in demand, he did not tell them, he did not advise them, he did not guide them to go ahead and put a home financing condition and a home inspection condition. So effectively, they were just sold to, essentially, and they ended up basically purchasing the house and having buyers remorse almost immediately saying, we wish we had not gone with this real estate agent who did our deal. And I don't know what to tell you about that, right? Like if we all know for a fact that that real estate agent was prioritizing his or her commission, and then and they were just kind of like being pushy with the transaction. So unfortunately, if you don't listen to that gut feeling and get a second opinion, then unfortunately your deal is going to be screwed. But how you know that you're not just being sold to is if your real estate agent, if your realtor, if your advisor, the one who's supposed to be looking out for your best interests, is sitting there and kind of guiding you and telling you, hey, you're going to anticipate XYZ problem, why you need to get a pre-qualification, why, like pointing out the flaws in a property. Because look, I used to do this before. Sorry, losing the camera over here. I used to do this before where I used to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Before you view a house with me, we're going to sit down. We're going to have a conversation. It's going to be a 10-minute thing, 15-minute consultation, etc. And then I realized people are not just into that. So you know what? That teaching moment that you need, I started doing that as I started viewing, like showing you homes, right? So if I take out a buyer and I want them to know about the pre-qualification, the importance of knowing your numbers, the importance of home inspection, the importance of home financing condition, what to start expecting when it comes to the real estate transaction. What could the sellers be thinking based on some of the remarks that us real estate agents can see and hear in the Toronto MLS that are representing the seller's viewpoint, right? So I'll start basically peppering that stuff in. I'll start mentioning that stuff as we see some properties. And then by the end of the showing of the 4th or the 5th house, if you don't feel like, hey, I learned from my realtor, he's advising, he's teaching, he's guiding, he's making sure that, whenever I have a question, he's not just giving us some answers out of his ass. He's actually telling us things. But then at the same time, he's making some weird dad jokes, right? So if you're not feeling like that, then what the hell are you doing having this person go along with you, right? Then it's not about you. It's not about your anticipating your needs, wants, and desires in a property, guiding you on things that you don't know about the process. This is your first time or your second time in the span of 2 or 3 years, depending on if you're a first-time home buyer, if you're buying a property that is going to be like your mover upper, or you've done 3 or 4 properties, but in that span of 3 or 4 years times, your brain is reset. You don't know what you're walking into, but your realtor does. And if he's not guiding you and not teaching you a bunch of things after 5 or 8 houses, there's your answer. You're being sold to. It's better you work with somebody and make sure that you feel secure and safe guiding you into a transaction. Because I'll tell you this, I said this before too. If you don't know, if you don't feel like, okay, you know what, I've considered all the variables. I feel like I've been coached enough. I've seen enough homes. I know enough out there of the current market to go ahead and risk my money placing an offer. You're not going to make an offer. And if you do, I don't know, it doesn't really happen with me because all I do is teach. So yeah, there's your answer right there. What's a sign that my realtor is ignoring my boundaries and trying to lock me in? Go ahead and buy. Go ahead and buy right now. Make offer. Yes, make an offer and make sure it's unconditional. What the hell do you think that's going to happen? That's what's going to happen. Like, you're going to lose your freaking deposit. You're committing yourself to a property and you're not taking advantage of the market that we're in. The market that we're in right now is advantageous to buyers, qualified buyers who can actually show that, hey, we intend to complete the transaction. If that's your value, guess what? Now you have leverage. You've communicated leverage and you can capitalize on that leverage. Because if a home seller is getting 3 offers on a property, my question is, how strong are those buyers? Can they carry that transaction through? Because the home seller is also committing to a transaction, right? So yeah, I mean, use it. That's your leverage right now. And in fact, that's a leverage in any market. Doesn't really matter. And lastly, we're going to try and keep this to 3 questions. Hopefully this won't be as much of a long rant because now we're running up to 8 minutes. What questions can I ask that force a realtor to tell me the truth instead of selling me? Thank you, ChatGPT. I don't freaking know. I mean, they should. It is presumed that they are being honest with you. And if they're not being honest with you, and you're not really listening to the gut feeling, or you're kind of like ignoring the red flags, then get a second and a third opinion. Don't sign a buyer agency agreement. Like, if you view properties with me, the first time I go, I'm not making you sign no buyer agency agreement, locking you in. But after you see, okay, you know what? We learned, we understood, we were taught, we were coached. We have more questions for Ali. We want to ask him, not a problem. We saw at least 5 to 7 properties. We feel like we're a lot more informed than we were before. Then the question that you want to ask is, do you want to work with me exclusively or do you want to work with Joe Schmo? Go work with Joe Schmo. Go see properties. Go see, properties with Jane Doe as well, for example. And then after that, decide who you want to work with. But don't just sign the buyer agency agreement from the get-go. There's a question that I used to ask, hey, did you sign a buyer agency agreement? Very standard. The answer would be no. Guess what? Later on, I would find out they did. The question is, did you make an offer on a property in the last 6 months? I want to see that package. It'll have the buyer agency agreement. Anyways, that's the first segment. I don't want to make this too long. This video is going to be uploaded soon. And then after that, we're going to do segments number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you enjoyed this, guys, like and subscribe. Follow all the socials. It's going to be on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you were viewing, or if you want to know something about the real estate market or something to do with real estate in general, and you just want that blunt, honest advice, shoot me a DM. I'll respond, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.